My name is Stephen Raaymakers, author of the Aria of Steel trilogy, which includes A Canticle of Two Souls, A Canticle for the Fallen, and Canticle of War. I am also the author of the Scars of Magic series, which has Blade of the Wanderer and A Fire in the Hearth. Today I'd like to talk about Scars of Magic specifically. Scars of Magic was born from my love of post-apocalyptic fiction. Some of my favourite stories in this genre include the Metro series by Glukowski, Roadside Picnic by the Strugatsky brothers, the Stalker games, Book of the New Sun, The Road, A Canticle for Leibowitz, Ridley Walker, Threads, and of course 28 Days Later. The desolation, isolation, and emptiness and nostalgia, the mystery and the themes of survival woven into those post-apocalyptic worlds are a fascinating combination. It's like a mix of grim despair and endless hope, a kind of humanity and terrible inhumanity. They reflect the best and the worst of us, and call out to our deepest fears. Scars of Magic is a work approximately 10 or 11 years in the making so far, with literally thousands of hours poured into it. The characters grew through the years, with their relationships and motivations developing into what we have now. A ton of time was spent researching disabilities and the appropriate language to describe Esterra's particular condition. Her journey is one of self-identification and acceptance as much as it is temporal dread and physical survival. Her mental health is always at the centre of her tale. We'll start with some information on world building and then have a quick chat about the characters. The world is broken up into tracts. These are essentially massive craters. Each crater has its own ecosystem and environment, making travel very difficult, and life becomes a matter of basic survival for many people. The world wasn't always like this, but no one in the world of Apace really knows what happened, though parts of that are revealed as the stories go on. The only way between the tracts are these weird tunnels called hollows. They change at dawn and dusk, with some exceptions, making them unpredictable and dangerous. In addition, within the tracts, there are Lichtwellen. Lichtwellen are basically events that wipe out all sentient life in a tract. Sometimes they can change the entire tract's ecosystem and the environment within it. They can basically happen at any time, and only naturally deaf people can sense them coming, and those people are called listeners. And finally, there is the Licht itself. It is a magical, glowing, nebulous kind of substance that follows few rules. It sometimes floats through the air, and other times eats through the earth and the plants and the sentient life, corrupting it and morphing it into something new, something weird. It is usually lethal to humans, but it can be resisted if one has sufficient willpower. Very, very few people have that. Esterra is one of them. Even she has trouble stopping it from spreading, though. In summary, the world is very, very dangerous, full of abominations, monsters, cultists, petty princes, and cruel slavers, wild mutants and cannibals. It's not exactly Hobbiton. The compass in Scars of Magic is not your standard with 4 cardinal points. Instead, it has 6. These 6 points do not relate to magnetic directions, but are rather directions determined by the position of the sun at different times of the day, and the opposite directions at night. As you can see, the 3 uppermost points are in the daytime, and the lower 3 relate to night. Considering the state of the world, watches and clocks don't really exist in Scars of Magic. Also, the sun is not visible at night. So these directions are, at best, approximations for the most part. But that seems to work fine in Vipace. Since the world is broken up into the tracts with only the hollows to join them, getting lost during travel is not a major concern. Surviving them is much more difficult. So an approximate direction is fine. Travellers consult with locals or refer to their own observations and determinations to make their way through their journey, much like the travellers of medieval times. They knew they need to get to X city, and in order to get through it there, they have to pass through Y and Z. And those are basically in this vague direction. Signposts and asking locals for the way was not abnormal, and the dangers of becoming lost were relatively low. In Vipace, since there are so few tunnels between the tracts, a general idea of direction is often more than sufficient, as there are plenty of ways to know if you are in the wrong tract or if something else is off. Of course, with many uninhabited tracts, and with the added danger of a Lichtwellen changing the very nature of any one tract at any one time, people can still lose their way. Travel is additionally dangerous due to monsters, thugs, and all the various natural and unnatural events that occur in the world. Only the most hardened of people can travel this post-apocalyptic world. They are called Tractwalkers. Tractwalkers are the wanderers who make their way from tract to tract, earning their keep through odd jobs, such as hunting, gathering, mercenary work, sometimes protecting merchants, acting as hitmen, or hunting down monsters, rescuing people, and fighting whoever gets in the way. They are often cynical, bristling with weapons and attitude. Esterra Stake is a Tractwalker. Exiled from her home as a child, she quickly picked up the survival skills required to make her way through Vipace. She also wields a terrible power in her right arm. Usually it hangs lifeless in a sling, but there is deep magic within. She is a skeptical, brutal woman in the first set of stories, but you'll often see a softer side developing in following books. I believe her violent nature, warring with her softer side, together with the magical curse, makes her one of the most interesting characters I've ever written. Her friend Tar is also complex. He was once part of a group called the Wandering College, which has long since disbanded. Then we have Kavi, Laodin, Freya, Nava, Edraniel, and a host of other characters. All of them bring something fresh into Esterra's life, and she grows in various ways because of those connections. Books 1 and 2 in the series are out. These are called Blade of the Wanderer and Fire in the Hearth. Book 3 will be coming out sometime in 2027, hopefully earlier in the year. So that's a bit about Scars of Magic. Till next time, read books, be kind, and live generously.